Ever get that feeling like the more you learn about something, the less you actually know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now about lithium.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's in pretty much everything these days, from our phones to electric cars.
Sure.
But when you actually start digging deeper,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot more to it than meets the eye.
It really is fascinating when you get into it.
So today we're taking a deep dive into the world of lithium,
Okay.
an element that's way more complex and fascinating than I think a lot of people realize.
What's so interesting about lithium is that it's incredibly light,
Okay.
but at the same time, not as common as you might think.
No, it's like a lightweight element with a heavyweight impact.
Exactly. It's the least dense metal on the entire periodic table.
Wow.
We're talking so light it can actually float on water.
Metal floating on water.
I know, right? Imagine a metal that behaves more like a piece of pine wood than lead.
That is pretty wild when you think about it.
It's bizarre.
So how is it that something so light is also so rare?
Well, for starters, lithium was created during the Big Bang.
Right.
So you'd think it would be pretty abundant throughout the universe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here's the thing. Stars are basically lithium destroyers.
Stars.
Yeah, they gobble it up at these just alarming rates. It's this kind of cosmic mystery.
So stars are basically hoarding all the lithium for themselves.
Pretty much, yeah. It's this weird paradox.
Okay, so we've got this rare, lightweight metal that stars love to devour.
Right?
Where do we even find lithium here on Earth?
Most of it's locked away in these brine pools and hard rock deposits.
Brine pools.
Yeah, like those massive salt flats.
Okay.
And a lot of it is concentrated in this region in South America they call the Lithium Triangle.
So it's like a lithium gold mine down there.
Exactly. The huge source of lithium for the world.
But I'm guessing it's not just lying around on the surface waiting to be picked up.
Not quite. It's a pretty involved extraction process.
Paint me a picture. What does lithium mining actually look like?
Well, imagine these vast salt flats stretching for miles under the scorching sun. They pump up this lithium-rich brine from underground.
Brine.
It's super salty water, basically.
Got it.
And then they let it evaporate in these massive ponds.
So like making salt, but for batteries?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
That sounds pretty intense, and I bet there are some environmental concerns with a process like that,
Definitely, there are challenges. It takes a lot of water to do that.
especially in an environment like that.
Exactly. And then there's the potential impact on the local ecosystems and the communities living nearby.
Right, of course. So we've got this rare element being extracted through this pretty intense process.
Yeah.
What exactly are we using all this lithium for?
Oh, man. Where do we even begin? Lithium is like the Swiss Army knife of elements.
Okay.
Besides the obvious things like batteries.
Right.
It's used in ceramics glass, even medicine.
Hold on. Medicine.
Valor.
You're telling me lithium is in the stuff we take to get better?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. This is where things get really interesting. Lithium salts have been used for decades to treat bipolar disorder.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's all about carefully managing the dosage, but it can be really effective in stabilizing mood swings.
So it's powering our phones and helping people manage their mental health.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Lithium is way more important than I ever realized.
And we're just scratching the surface here. Remember how I said lithium is highly reactive?
Yeah.
Well, that makes it a perfect fit for some pretty unexpected applications, like nuclear reactors and high-temperature lubricants.
Nuclear reactors. Okay, now I'm officially lost. How can something so reactive be safe to use in a nuclear reactor?
It's all about isotopes. Think of them like siblings. Same element, but different personalities.
Okay.
Lithium-7, a specific isotope of lithium, is incredibly good at absorbing neutrons, those tiny particles that are key to nuclear fission.
So it's like a neutron sponge keeping the nuclear reaction in check.
Exactly. It helps control the rate of the reaction, making nuclear reactors safer and more efficient.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming there are other isotopes of lithium that aren't so well behaved?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Another lithium isotope, lithium-6, is used in, let's just say, more explosive applications.
Wait, explosive? Are we talking fireworks here?
Fireworks and other things. It just goes to show how versatile this element really is, from powering our technology to treating mental illness to, well, other applications. It's shaping our world in some pretty profound ways.
That is incredible. I never would have guessed that lithium plays such a diverse role in our lives.
It's one of those elements that's easy to overlook, but once you start looking closer, it's everywhere.
And it sounds like it's only going to become more important as we move forward.
Absolutely. We're just beginning to tap into its potential.
It really is fascinating stuff.
It is.
Well, I'm definitely feeling a lot more enlightened about lithium now.
Good, did.
But I think we've only just scratched the surface here.
Oh yeah, there's so much more to uncover.
So let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive even deeper into the world of lithium.
Sounds good. Yeah, it really is remarkable how many different things lithium is used for.
Like this unsung hero powering our lives in ways we don't even realize.
Exactly, and that quiet role is only going to get bigger as we shift to this more electric future.
Right. Which brings us back to something we were discussing earlier, the whole environmental impact of lithium mining.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about the lithium triangle,
Yeah.
those massive evaporation ponds. It sounds like a necessary evil, but not exactly the greenest process.
It's a tough one for sure. On the one hand, we need lithium to move away from fossil fuels and fight climate change, but on the other, extracting it can really strain water resources and disrupt those fragile ecosystems.
It's that classic dilemma, right? Balancing the need for resources with protecting the planet.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the mining itself either. We have to think about the transportation, the processing, and what happens to all those lithium batteries at the end of their life.
So it's bigger than just digging up more lithium. It's about using what we have responsibly and not creating a whole new set of problems down the line.
You got it.
Yeah.
We need to think about the entire life cycle of lithium, from extraction to recycling or disposal.
Sounds like a massive undertaking, but also a chance for some real innovation. Are there any promising solutions on the horizon?
There's some really exciting stuff happening with battery recycling tech. The goal is to recover as much lithium as possible from used batteries and put it right back into the supply chain.
Like a closed-loop system, so we're reusing instead of constantly needing to mine more.
Exactly. And there's even research being done on alternative sources of lithium, like geothermal brines and even seawater.
Wait, seawater. You're saying we could get lithium from the ocean?
Potentially. Yeah, it would be the game changer for sure.
It sounds almost too good to be true. But what about the cost? Wouldn't these alternatives be way more expensive than traditional mining?
Cost is always a factor, but as the technology improves and the demand keeps rising, those alternative sources could become a lot more viable.
So it's a wait-and-see kind of thing.
Pretty much. But the need to be proactive about managing lithium and finding sustainable practices is crystal clear.
It seems like the future of lithium is full of challenges, but also huge opportunities.
It really is. And how we navigate those challenges is going to have a big impact on our transition to a cleaner and more sustainable energy future.
Well, I've got to say, I'm feeling a lot more knowledgeable about lithium now. It's amazing how much complexity there is to this seemingly simple element.
That's what I love about these deep dives. You never know what you're going to discover.
Speaking of discovering, you mentioned earlier that lithium can be used to tell different types of stars apart.
Oh, yeah, right? It all comes down to the fact that different stars have different temperatures inside, and those temperatures affect how much lithium they hold on to.
So a star's lithium content is kind of like a cosmic fingerprint.
Yeah.
Telling us about its age and temperature.
Exactly. It's wild how an element that's so important for our technology can also help us understand the vastness of the universe.
It really makes you wonder what other secrets lithium is hiding. What other discoveries are waiting to be made?
That's the beauty of science. There's always more to learn. And with an element as multifaceted as lithium, I'm sure we've only scratched the surface.
That's a pretty exciting thought, and it makes me even more curious to see what the future holds for this incredible element. But for now, I think we've reached the end of our lithium deep dive.
I think so too, but the journey of discovery never really ends, does it?
Definitely not. And that's what makes it so fascinating. You know, it really makes you think about how everything is connected.
It does.
From stars to batteries to our own brains.
It really highlights that even the smallest things can have a massive impact.
And that brings us back to something we keep coming back to, that need for sustainable lithium production.
Yeah.
How do we meet this huge demand without hurting the planet or taking advantage of these communities?
Right, and it's not just up to governments and big corporations to solve this.
So what can everyday people do to actually make a difference? I mean, this feels like such a huge problem.
It can seem that way. But even small changes in our habits can add up. For instance, think about how often we use electronics.
So maybe not always running out to get the newest phone just because it's shiny and new?
Exactly. And recycling our old devices. Making sure those lithium batteries don't end up in a landfill.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else?
Supporting companies that make ethical sourcing and sustainability a priority, and voting for policies that promote responsible lithium production and recycling.
So it's about being informed consumers and engaged citizens, making choices that match our values.
That's what it comes down to. We all have a part to play in this, and lithium is a great example of how those choices can make a real difference.
I think you're right. I have to say, this deep dive into lithium has been a real eye-opener. I never realized how much I didn't know about something that seems so simple.
That's the beauty of learning. It never ends. And with an element as dynamic as lithium, who knows what amazing discoveries are still out there?
Well, on that note, I think we've come to the end of our lithium exploration.
We have. But just like the demand for lithium, the quest for knowledge continues.
We hope you enjoyed the journey and maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Until next time, keep on diving.
And remember, there's always more to explore.